Hello and welcome to my very first Fast Track to Fearless coaching corner. I get asked lots and lots of different questions. And sometimes they are on the same theme about career coaching, about how to grow in your career, how to deal with imposter syndrome, how to face challenges, how to navigate the ups and downs. So I thought I would just start a weekly coaching corner, a Fast Track to Fearless coaching corner where anybody can ask questions, submit a question in advance. And if I think I've got something useful to say, some advice, some tips, some wisdom, then I will share it. So today, my very first question that came through Instagram at Tracy Forsyth Coach Instagram was from a lady called Emily. So she had been to a panel where she'd seen an incredible speaker who talked about finding our courage, how we need to find our courage. And Emily's question to me was, what is the best way to find courage on repeat when so often we can get easily discouraged and derailed, beg your pardon. So how do you keep that courage coming when you face knockbacks? And I mean, that happens, doesn't it? Life is like that. You can be fighting for something and get so many knockbacks, and sometimes it's just hard to pick yourself back up. So here's what I think about it, is that I believe courage comes from knowing and feeling that you are doing the right thing. And what I mean by that is that if you are doing something that is very purposeful or meaningful to you, you will just feel right about doing it. Doesn't matter if somebody else doesn't think it's the right thing to do, or it isn't, they don't feel the same way. But if you feel something is purposeful and meaningful to you, it will be an extra boost to have the courage and the conviction to carry on and do it. So don't try to do things just because everybody else thinks that they should be done or are a good thing to do. Listen to yourself and work out what is purposeful, what is meaningful to you. And think about what is the outcome that you're after. What is the impact and the outcome that you will find satisfying and gratifying? So when you're feeling de-energized and derailed, just think about what is it you're trying to achieve? Why does that have purpose and meaningful for you? What is the impact that you are longing for? What is the impact that you will have when you get there? And how will that be satisfying? So that brings me to another point, really, which is often, and this is a Stephen Covey one, which is begin with the end in mind, is keep focused on that end state of being, how it meets your purpose, how you'll find it meaningful, how you'll find it gratifying. And courage will come. Don't try and force yourself to do something you're half-hearted about. It just will not work. So the other thing I think about courage is that what helps is that if you have the right energy for it. And the opposite of energy are things that deflate us and de-energize us. So when you're thinking about courage, think about the energy and resilience that you need to be courageous. And I think a lot of this energy, I'm not just talking about physical energy, but I'm talking about mental energy, comes from doing the things that make you thrive and knowing what makes you thrive and what doesn't. So the things that make you thrive are things when you're doing things that you feel like you're in your flow, that it becomes easy, that it is energizing. You know, when we do things that we really, really love, the time passes by without really ever noticing it. You forget you're hungry. When I'm really doing stuff that I enjoy, I forget I'm hungry. And that's when I know I'm really in my element because, you know, I'm one of those people who live to eat. Anyway, but if you think about one of the things I was thinking about is like the Superman movies. And remember, Superman, very, very strong. He could fly, he could do this, that, and the other. But if you surrounded him with kryptonite, that weird mineral, or he went to Krypton, I think that was the planet, he lost all his powers. And in the same way, I think we can have kryptonite in our lives in the form of either activities that really de-energize us, or we can have people in our lives who are like kryptonite, people who really naysayers, or people who don't believe in us, and actually they can be external people, they can be internal, they can be your inner critics. So really think about, actually be honest with yourself about what makes you thrive and what doesn't. What kind of environment do you need to energize yourself and build that resilience in order to have the courage? It doesn't really happen in a vacuum. And my last point, I think, on this subject at the moment is that, remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. So if you've had a knockback and if you're feeling down, you need the time, and you need to be compassionate to yourself to help yourself restore and recover and regenerate. It's like, like a battery. If certain things, if you've been around kryptonite, and I'm going to mix my metaphors, I love a metaphor and I mix them all the time. If you've been around kryptonite, your batteries tend to be low, you're drained. Well, you can't then go full throttle ahead, full of courage to achieve whatever you want when you're really feeling low or drained. So you do have to take the time to recover, restore, and regenerate in whatever form that takes you. So, I always say that we expect ourselves to run like Formula One cars at peak performance and at high speed. And we treat ourselves like a knackered old tractor. We don't put the right fuel in. We don't rest up. We don't get the mechanics to have a little twiddle or anything, or change our tires. And yet we expect ourselves just to be these amazing, heroic, all kind of accomplishing beings. Well, it's not going to happen. You've got to look after yourself. You wouldn't expect your car to run on empty. And if the warning lights went off and you kept going, then you wouldn't expect it to work. So why do you treat yourself any differently? So the more you can recharge your batteries, rest, restore, the more you will have the energy and the resilience to find that courage on repeat. So in summary, what I would say is, I believe a lot of courage comes from knowing and feeling that you are doing the right thing for you, that you have a purposeful and meaningful aim or goal or end in sight, and that it will be a satisfying and gratifying and meaningful outcome for you if you carry on, if you pursue. So my second point is really about just bearing in mind what are the things that drain you and energize you along the way. So beware of your kryptonite, the things that suck it all out of you, and make sure that you're not around that too much. Conversely, what are the things that really make you thrive? What do you need? And that might be actually just to sort of say, the reverse of kryptonite might be just a supporting comment from somebody, or encouragement to keep going, or somebody who says, oh, no, I need you to keep it going because of ... So what is it that makes you thrive? And lastly, it is, you can't pour from an empty cup. You've got to recharge your batteries, get plugged in, take a pit stop. And when you're refueled, you will feel that much better. And to hit the courage on repeat button. I hope this has been helpful to you. If it has, I would love to hear some comments, some feedback. And if you have a question that you'd like to put to me, I would love to hear it, and I would love to help answer. All right, so I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.